Sonic and the 7 Symphonies. That's right, boys and girls. Today we're doing a normal Sonic mod. One that's not focused on our little blue devil friend. We don't get many of these in FNF, and whenever we do, it's usually overshadowed and it's not one I love. Well, except Versus Infinite, but that was made by the same team that made both Doki Doki Takeover and Flavor Rave, and I love those mods to pieces, so of course I gave that mod some attention. But when I heard this mod existed, I actually was very happy, because when I checked out the OST, I thought it was very good. It's not perfect or anything, and it could use a few tweaks in a few aspects, but this is still a pretty good OST all the way around. There isn't anything I'm not ranking today, because nothing is old, and we don't know it's upcoming quite yet, because the mod's barely even, if not even a month old. So this will be quite interesting. However, there's always something negative in these videos, except my old thoughts on Mario's Madness. So let's just get the easy dead last out of the way right now, shall we?
Oh, hey Sonic, you come here to fish too?
Surfcaster is the easy worst song out of this entire OST. I'm really not a fan of this one. For a couple reasons. First problem is Big's chromatic. Look, I already don't like Big as a Sonic character in the first place, but this chromatic is just so boring. It's not good, and all of his voice lines are kind of bad. I like it when this mod uses voice lines, but this is the one time I think it's kind of bad, not gonna lie. Plus the fact this song just feels like a remix of Emerald Coast at times, and I don't even really like Emerald Coast all that much. Like, it's a fine enough song, but it's kind of just mid. That being said, there are some good aspects. The instrumental is solid at parts when it's not Emerald Coast vibe, and I will admit, Sonic has an amazing chromatic, easily the best from the entire mod. There's only one chromatic that I think rivals it. However, it's not used the greatest here, and I just don't like Surfcaster a ton. Like, it's tolerable and close to a B tier, but with it sounding too much like a remix of Emerald Coast and Big's chromatic just being so boring, I couldn't put it any higher. Like, it's still a fine enough song, but not something I want to come back to like the rest of the OST.
That was awesome! How do your glutes feel?
Shut up, Bean.
Dynamite! This one's better than Surfcaster by quite a bit. We're into B tiers now. But this one does have its issues. Let's get some positives out of the way first. Starting with Bean's chromatic. So, Bean having a chromatic is interesting because Bean's never had an official voice actor. So, it's a bit weird for his chromatic. I still like it, but it's not my favorite. In fact, it's the second weakest in the mod, and even then I do like it. That just proves how good this mod's chromatics are. Sonic also sounds very good here. Easily one of his better performances in the mod, like, not even a question. However, I'm not huge on the instrumental. I feel like it's way too fast-paced, which I get kind of fits Bean's destructive nature, because I just don't like the instrumental because it feels too fast, and if it was slowed down a little bit, like, if it was sounding like it was in the 3D section, the song would probably be a bit higher. It could be an A tier, because this 3D section does everything I want and more. It has the perfect melodies, the perfect instrumental. You know, the chromatics don't change, it still sounds very good. It's just the instrumental, you know, it's holding it back. Because the melodies still sound really good, they work very well with the faster chromatics. But I kind of wish this one just had a better instrumental. Like, it's still a song I like, but it wasn't beating anything else out of this mod.
Better scramble like an egg before you get folded like an omelet.
Okay, Scrambled is an interesting song to say the least. I want to address my two biggest criticisms right here and now. One, the alarms in the instrumental are a little annoying from time to time. They're not awful, but they could maybe have been tuned down a bit. Plus, a lot of the melodies and a lot of the instrumental feels like metal scratching from Sonic Rush. And no offense to metal scratching, I like metal scratching, but they're throwing that in way too often. It makes the entire song just feel mostly like a metal scratching reference, and I don't want another Monday Lovania on our hands. However, when the song's not using metal scratching, it's actually very good. For one, I like Eggman's chromatic. It's an amazing chromatic, not my favorite from the mod, but still quite a good chromatic. And Sonic's used very well in this song. The instrumental, again, when it's not metal scratching, is good, which same can be said for the melodies. I don't know if I put this one any higher because I don't like putting remixes up a ton high because they don't have a ton of points in their originality and their melodies. And again, while someone's not exactly an instrumental, it just throws in so much metal scratching that it feels a lot like one, and that kind of annoys me. Like, it's still a high B tier, but not something I want to come back to on a ton of re-listens.
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you, since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?
Stardust Shutdown. This is the beginning of the A tiers, and I'll be honest, one of the lowest A tiers I think ever ranked on this channel. You're probably asking yourself, why is that? Well, I have a couple reasons, actually. First of all, this song feels way too long. It's a little over 3.5 minutes, so I think it's a tiny bit overkill for this song. Because this is my other issue. You see, we just finished this giant, intense song in metallic medley, and I want this giant chase scene, this anticlimactic final battle. And what do we get? We basically get a discount shot from the Sonic movie that came out in 1999. That's great. That's amazing. This really doesn't feel like it goes anywhere either. The melodies just kind of stay the same after a while. Granted, they're not bad melodies, but they're not the greatest. So, why am I putting it above Scrambled, you're asking? Well, a couple other reasons. First of all, the voice lines are very nice. I like how they used, again, from the Sonic movie. And I do like Metal Sonic's chromatic. A bit weaker than Eggman's, but still a good chromatic. Plus ones that bring in a bunch of freaking references, like Scrambled was, and besides from the fact that it's a little boring at times, it has its amazing moments quite often. So yeah, while I like Stardust Shutdown, I kind of wish it was a bit more of a chase sequence and not like this. Like, this one could have used a bit more time in the oven, but it kind of just feels like it's half-baked at times. Like, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a really good song, but this might be the lowest A tier I think I've ever ranked in my life. Mania. This is a very interesting song. This song feels like a combination of Lean Trap from Versus FNAF 3 and Fresh from the base game. What I mean by that? I mean this. For one, I think the intro is kind of similar to the beatboxing section in Fresh, and I think II's Chromatic, which is just a bunch of monkey noises, kind of reminds me of Lean Traps from, again, Lean Trap. Now, that out of the way, I do have a lot of nice things to say about this song. Sonic's Chromatic still sounds very good here, and I think the voice lines are mostly good. It kind of reminds me of Waffles from Versus FNAF 3 with the talking, although a lot better executed. However, if I had any issue with this song, it does feel a bit forgettable in some of its melodies, and I'm not the biggest fan of this one's instrumental. Like, it's still a good instrumental, but it's not great. However, I do really like II's Chromatic. It's very unique, and again, it sounds a lot like Lean Trap's Chromatic, and it's very good the entire way through. Like, this is a good song, but not something I want to come back to. I want the top 3, which is something I want to come back to on a consistent basis.
I, Dr. Robotnik, scientist extraordinaire, have finally completed my greatest invention ever. I call it the Hypermetal Sonic.
Ready, go!
Hi! If you don't know who I am, my name is Logan Games, and I'm here to talk about Metallic Medley. And oh boy, do I love this song! This song overall has a very bouncy back and forth theme, which makes sense considering Metal Sonic believes he is the real and superior Sonic. Now to actually get started on my thoughts. I love these two chromatics. Sonic's chromatic is really good, and Metal Sonic's is even better. By the way, before I continue, I think I should quickly state that I suck at pointing out motifs, so I'm not really going to talk about any of them just because I can't point them out to save my life. Anyways, continuing on, the instrumental, like I said earlier, this song has a very bouncy back and forth tone in it, and that is especially heard within the instrumental. And along with the instrumental, just the melodies overall, they do kind of repeat, but I just really like how back and forth they sound. This part right here is probably one of the weakest melodies of the song, and that's really not saying much because it still sounds really good, and I really like how it sounds. It's probably a motif. Then the opening melody comes back again, and I haven't actually talked about it yet, so I will give my praises for it here. This is one of the bounciest melodies throughout the whole song. I can't keep talking about melodies forever, so I guess I will talk about chromatics again, because yes, I already said they're really damn good, but I just love how they're used as well. They're used really good, and it kicks into a fucking Big Shot reference of all things. Maybe that was unintentional, but I really doubt it. It was probably intentional. And I just love how intense this part of the song is. It's my favorite part of the song by far. It just sounds so intense with everything. Their mini duet also sounded really, really damn good. And then the main melody comes back for I don't know, the 4th or 5th time. Listen, I really love this damn song. I know I didn't really show, but I do really, really freaking love this song. It's certainly better than the song immediately after it, in my opinion anyway. Amy's saxophone here, this is really random. That doesn't mean it's bad though. I really like it. It's a nice breath of fresh air, especially after how many times the opening melody repeated. looping it one more time just to say real quick, like, this is one of my favorite songs from the whole mod. I don't know if it's number one, but it is really close up there. I know I didn't really seem very energetic about it, and it's honestly mostly just because, like, I just have nothing to say about this that's that energetic, and also, like, at the time of recording this, I am a little sick, so that also had something to do with it. Like, I didn't want to scream a lot. Anyway, I'll play my favorite part now. Thanks for having me, Sailor.
Green Hill, in case you couldn't tell that you're about to play some Green Hill.
Act 0 is a very nice opening song for the mod. It's a short, limp little song with Sonic and Amy. And I'll get right off the bat, Amy's chromatic is very good. Not my favorite chromatic in this mod, but it's still very well done. And Sonic sounds very good for his intros of his chromatic. However, I have a small problem with this song I want to get out of the way right now. Similar to Scramble, this one feels a lot like Green Hill. But unlike Scramble, this one fully takes into the Green Hill vibe, where Scramble felt like it was just a bunch of metal scratching and a bunch of other melodies just tossed in. This one just feels like it goes more into the Green Hill vibe more than anything else. And I like that quite a bit, because Green Hill is a song that I do quite like from the Sonic community. A lot more than like metal scratching. And just like I mentioned, anything that's not Green Hill still sounds great. It sounds not as good as the Green Hill melodies, but it still sounds very good. And same with the instrumental, it's so good the entire way through. I don't have any problems with the song, so you're probably asking yourself, then why is this one first place? Because, while the first place had a small issue, its highs were just so much better than this one, I had to put it in first place. But still, I do quite love Act 0.
Couldn't you have picked a lighter boulder?
Not if we want to be sure and stop that hedgehog once and for all!
I mean, what were you expecting to be first place? It's literally the best song in the entire mod, and you won't tell me that Hard-Headed is not the best song in the entire mod. You will not change my mind. A song that is dedicated to entirely Adventurous Sonic the Hedgehog, my favorite Sonic show ever, was my favorite, yeah. And I want to start us off right now. I know I said Sonic has my favorite chromatic in the mod, but Scratch could also have my favorite chromatic. That's how good Scratch's chromatic is. And Grounder's is right behind him. Both chromatics are genuinely perfect. However, I want to address my biggest problem out of the way right now. Sonic. It's not his usual chromatic, it's slightly altered to try and fit his Adventurous Sonic the Hedgehog voice, and I don't really like it all that much. Like, it's not awful, but it's not the same level as Bass Sonic or Scratch and Grounder. Speaking of Scratch and Grounder, they kind of remind me of Masky and Hoodie from Trepidation. They carry the other's strengths and weaknesses. I mean by this. Scratch can do hold notes very well, but his single notes aren't the greatest, while Grounder can do single notes incredibly well and isn't the greatest at hold notes. So they cover for each other's weakness, because they are brothers after all. However, I do have one last issue with this song. The idea not to include Tails. Because when you have a song that has, you're fighting against two fighters as one, it makes some of the parts when you're by yourself feel like it's just loops. I mean this, in this part right here, Sonic does this very long section, but Scratch and Grounder only do half of that, and it kind of just makes every time Sonic does this repetitive. The inclusion of Tails would have been smart here as to cover for that for Sonic. However, it's not a bad thing, and I don't despise it. I just wish it was a little better. Plus, the instrumental is very good the entire way through. I love the instrumental, and the old school cartoon vibes that it gives. And I do kind of like Sonic's voice lines. They're a bit better than his actual chromatic, which is similar to Cuphead from Indie Cross, although I do switch on that every now and then. And I love all the Adventures on Hedgehog motifs they throw in here. Especially around the ending and the beginning. They're all just so good. So yeah, well, the song's not perfect, and it's nowhere near incredible. It's still an amazing song, and my easy favorite from the entire mod. Like, Hard-Headed was always my favorite, and I don't think it's ever going to change. I love the song so much, and I love that it's freaking based off my favorite Sonic cartoon ever. It's just sadly not perfect. And with that, we have completed Sonic and the 7 Symphonies. This is a very good mod. Not something I want to come back to on a ton of re-listens, but it does still have some pretty good stuff in it, and I can't wait to see what a V2 can pull out. Maybe something like Sonic Unleashed, more to the story mode, or even something like Sonic X based. That would be cool to see. But until we know what we're working with for V2, here's V1's tier list. Yeah, the first tier list to not have an SS, and it will not be the last time either. Also, if any of the devs from the team see this video, I just want to say, this is a very good mod, and you made some damn good stuff. Now, the next ranking I do will not be an FNF video, by the way. It will just be a ranking of sorts, but it'll be my first non-FNF ranking video of the server and channel. But until then, I'll see you all later. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.